do really is truck's 90 degrees. We're going to get all the kit out. Going to have 48 hours out just to kind of recharge our soul. There'll be a bit of cooking, walk around the woods, and you know, this is us just getting away from it all. But,
well, okay, so the temperature is starting to drop, 15:09, and the sun's gone down. In an hour it's going to be dark. Going to light the fire up, get some embers going hopefully, and start doing a bit of cooking, you know. So there's only me and Rich here, but I'm going to cook or try to cook you a Christmas dinner in the field. So I've bought a turkey crown, roast potatoes, carrots, parsnips, Brussels sprouts. We'll try and push the boat out for you, Christmas pudding and mince pies for afters, bit of brandy butter. Apologies from Funky Prepper, he's got a lot on. V is out flying drones today. Pete Wiseman is a bit the worse for wear. He's having trouble with his hip, which I think is kind of common knowledge. But me and Rich decided not to miss the boat, so this is just literally 2 or 3 days before Christmas. But this is our Christmas dinner camp out, and going to spark the fire up. We're going to start cooking. Okay, so almost 3 o'clock. Rich is just finishing up the fire prep, so we're probably going to lose the light about 4ish, I would have thought. So time to get the fire lit, get the embers kind of burnt down so we can start cooking. But imperative you get all these jobs done, you know, in good time before it gets dark, because when it gets dark these jobs are sort of twice the work. I always look upon this as an opportunity to practice, you know. Dave Canterbury sort of said something once in passing, but he said that you don't own a skill unless you can do it in every season. I always have half a dozen different ways to light fire, and I like to get out and practice them. So I make my own homemade fire lighters that I kind of bring out and use. And it's just lint out of the dryer at home, bit of Vaseline, and that's my homemade fire lighter. I like pine cones because pine cones are full of pine oil. You've all seen this before. I've just put a bed of sticks to bring the fire off of the ground, because the ground is cold and the ground is wet. You know, so they are 2 things your fire would instantly have trouble with. So I've just kind of raised it up a bit. Put my homemade fire lighter. The other thing that I use from time to time, this is just a bit of bicycle inner tube. You know, but the thing about this bicycle inner tube is rubber burns quite fiercely, and it's very difficult to blow out once it's going. This was wet, and I've literally just sort of dried it on my trousers, and I guarantee that that would take a light from a lighter or something like that, you know. But we've processed our firewood, we've done it all in good time, and now we're going to strike it up, and hopefully we're going to try and get some embers to cook this dinner on. I'll show you what I mean about this piece of rubber. Once rubber starts to burn, it's very difficult to blow out. I mean, that is a piece sort of, you know, 50 times bigger than you would actually need to get your fire going. On my little Zippo lighter that I carry in my pocket, all I normally do is cut off a piece that's maybe 2 or 3 mils, and that normally gets my fire going a treat. Take your time over setting your fire. It will just save you having to do it again. You know, there's no, rarely if ever, no rush. Fire likes chaos. You know, so don't be too ordered, too regimented, too tidy when you do your fire lay. Give it a minute, let it drag in the oxygen from the air. Oxygen, fuel and heat, that's the 3 things we absolutely need to make a viable fire. Just going to give that a minute, going to put the rest of the wood on, see if we can get some embers going, and then I'm going to start the food prep. This is the wood that Rich processed for me, but obviously the outside of this wood is wet, the inside of this wood is dry. So just edging my bets really. Last thing I want is for it to go out, because you know, then it's a palaver. You have to kind of do your fire lay all over again and start from the beginning. But that looks like the basis of our fire to cook this beautiful dinner on. There is nothing like it, is there? Nothing like a beautiful open fire. And then cut. So I'm just going to share with you some of my greatest kind of gadgets, you know, things that I love that are quite tactile, mean quite a lot to me. This is my little kind of, I guess my little sort of knife collection, though it's a bit broader than that. It's just tools that I've gathered over the years and been quite flattered, you know. So Sandy at Jack Law made me a beautiful knife, and we called it a Black Knight. So function over design really. Had a black Corrin handle, I think, typical Jack Law, stainless steel pins, and a absolutely beautiful thing. I've probably had 3 knives off of Sandy over the years, and I've given a couple away to get other people started. I remember raffling one, and they're a beautiful thing to own. I don't think anyone would be disappointed acquiring themselves a Jack Law. My kind of Roach series of knives were made by Jason at Willowwood Knives, so if you're in the market for a custom knife, he's always worth a call. You could send him a drawing, he'll work with you like he did with me to manufacture whatever you've got in mind. You know, master craftsman, as is Sandy, you know. Sergeant Fruitcake, I've had some bits and pieces off of the Sarge. I've got my Leatherman Mute there that I absolutely love, which is a kind of military utility tool, and that's my Leatherman of choice. Got my own Roach Bushcraft knife, of course, that Jason made me. He made the entire series. Dell at Red Pars Knives has made me a knife. It's in this box, and I promised Dell that I wouldn't open it until Christmas morning, so it's going under the tree with the kids' presents. And then of course I'm guaranteed at least one thing that's going to blow me away. My brief to Dell was a simple one, you know, make me the knife that you think I would choose for myself. You know, I haven't had anything to do with the design, manufacture, colours, anything like that, so the whole thing is down to Dell at Red Path Knives. And if you haven't been over there and given him a look, you're missing out, very simply. He has a slightly different style, slightly different bent on things. Sandy is very traditional. Jason is sort of 50% magician, 50% genius, and he will make you anything your heart desires. But they're all slightly different. Through this little thing. So styles, you know, this knife was made by Boca, and when it came in a sheath that, you know, it's a great sheath, but there was no real way of carrying it. So again, I sent it off to Jason at Willowwood Knives, and he modified it slightly, came up with this little carry system. So very simply, you can put a belt through there, and it can be a horizontal carry, or you've got a belt loop where you could carry it fairly traditionally on your side or your belt. But this is the Boca pry bar. I absolutely love it. This is a kind of covert carry system. But Jace came up with this. I sort of said that this is something really that somebody should patent, because this system you could pretty much apply to almost any knife, and it gives you no end of sort of carry options. So the belt goes under there, horizontal carry, belt goes through there, vertical carry. I think that was a really brilliant idea from Jason at Willowwood Knives, but that's one of my favourites. He actually did the leather work for this, which again was a horizontal carry, and has been absolutely lovely. I painted the stud myself, and I did sort of swap this around purely because once I started to carry it, the strap released from the bottom. Well, as I carry it sort of behind my back horizontally, it's easier to hit the catch and draw the knife when it's like that. So that was a slight modification on my part, but I really love it. It's probably all you're going to need in the field. This is my sort of little roach skinning knife, again made by Jason at Willowwood. He did them all. I had the engraving done. These are the prototypes, so they're all sort of 01, and always by your side is my kind of tagline, and the little cockroach is of course armoured cockroach, but all of my knives have got that on them. I was really pleased with the fact that I kind of had them commissioned, and razor sharp. Mate, this knife is going to last me. The big knife was really my interpretation of one knife. So that was one knife you could build a shelter with, one knife you could butcher or dress game, one knife you could process food, fillet a fish, that sort of thing, and also kind of process all of your camp firewood. But that was my interpretation really of the kind of one knife survival little test that was doing the rounds for a while, and really fortunate to have it actually made and turned into a real thing. Knife legislation in the UK, you know, you get caught walking around with any of these things and you're in trouble, simple as that. You know, you would have to justify why you've got it on you, what you're using it for. Really, the only time I bother bringing these out is when I'm going out into the field and, you know, I'm processing my firewood, blah, blah, blah. So that's my little knife collection. On that bonnet there, ladies and gentlemen, are, I think, the most lovely things that Roach has come across. For the people that have sent me Christmas presents, I'm really appreciative. Can't wait till Christmas morning, which is only 3 sleeps away, and I'll be opening those with my beautiful girls.